When we think about staying young, most people immediately imagine expensive products, surgeries, or chasing the latest trends. But the truth is that the secret to looking and feeling youthful has more to do with daily habits than with anything else. The choices we make every single day, the mindset we carry, and the little things we consistently practice end up shaping not just our appearance, but our energy and confidence as well. These habits don't happen overnight, and they aren't complicated, but they are deeply rooted in self-respect and the way we treat our bodies and our minds. It's not about reversing age, but about embracing practices that allow women to maintain vitality, glow, and strength no matter what number is attached to their birthdays. And when these habits are lived out, they create a timeless effect that is visible from the inside out. One of the most powerful habits that keeps women looking young is prioritizing consistency over perfection, because it is never the one-time effort that changes a life. It's the small, repeated actions that turn into a lifestyle. Whether it's staying hydrated, moving the body, or practicing a mindful approach to stress, consistency builds momentum and sets the foundation for long-term results. When women commit to these routines with patience, the reflection in the mirror begins to tell a different story, one that goes beyond wrinkles or age lines and speaks of discipline, balance, and inner strength. This doesn't require hours in the gym or extreme diets, but it does require choosing daily rituals that nourish rather than drain, because a young appearance is often just a reflection of a well-cared-for life. Another key part of this habit is protecting energy by setting healthy boundaries, because nothing ages a person faster than chronic stress and emotional exhaustion. Women who look young well into later years often master the art of saying no without guilt, preserving their time for things that actually add value to their lives. This is not selfishness, but self-preservation, and it creates space for joy, rest, and creativity, all of which show in the way a person carries herself. When stress is managed well, the body reflects it through better skin, more energy, and fewer health issues, proving that emotional habits are just as important as physical ones in maintaining youthfulness. The glow people notice on the outside usually starts with peace on the inside, and that is cultivated daily by refusing to let unnecessary negativity take root. A youthful lifestyle also grows out of curiosity and a willingness to keep learning, because staying mentally active prevents stagnation and keeps the spirit alive. Women who never stop learning new skills, exploring new ideas, or challenging their perspectives maintain a spark that is undeniable, and that spark often makes them appear far younger than their age. Keeping the brain engaged has a direct impact on how youthful someone feels and looks, and it helps maintain confidence in a world that is constantly changing. Reading, traveling, or simply asking questions creates an energy that radiates outward, and this energy is something you cannot buy or fake. It comes from an authentic engagement with life itself. The habit of remaining curious ensures that the mind stays sharp, the outlook stays fresh, and the appearance follows along. Another overlooked but essential part of staying youthful is practicing gratitude, because it shifts focus away from what is missing to what is present and valuable. This habit changes posture, expression, and even the way women interact with others, because gratitude creates kindness, and kindness is magnetic. A grateful heart keeps stress levels lower, keeps relationships healthier, and fosters optimism, all of which directly influence how a woman looks and feels over time. Gratitude softens the face, lights up the eyes, and transforms the atmosphere around someone. And the best part is that it requires no cost, only awareness. This is not about ignoring difficulties, but about choosing to acknowledge blessings. And this choice brings resilience and a kind of quiet joy that shines brighter than any cosmetic fix. Nutrition also plays a role in this first habit, because what we fuel our bodies with shows on the outside. Women who age gracefully understand that food is more than just calories. It is information that tells the body how to function, repair, and renew. Choosing whole, nutrient-rich foods, staying hydrated, and minimizing processed options all compound over years to create skin that glows, energy that sustains, and a body that feels lighter and more capable. This doesn't mean strict restriction, but mindful enjoyment, treating meals as an opportunity to nourish rather than just consume. Over time, the body rewards these choices with vitality, and that vitality is what keeps women looking and feeling young. And finally, woven through all these practices is the habit of self-confidence, because the way a woman perceives herself determines how the world perceives her. Confidence is not loud or boastful. It is a quiet assurance that radiates through posture, expression, and interaction. And this assurance keeps people guessing about age. When a woman chooses to carry herself with grace, to value her presence, and to walk into rooms without shrinking, she automatically appears youthful because confidence has no expiration date. This habit takes practice, but once mastered, it becomes one of the most powerful and lasting tools for staying ageless, because no wrinkle or gray hair can outshine the glow of self-assurance. Taking care of yourself isn't only about what people see on the outside, it's about what you build on the inside and how consistently you show up for yourself every single day. Because youthfulness isn't only skin deep, it is deeply rooted in your mindset, your daily choices, and the energy you carry with you. And the most timeless women have mastered the art of nurturing their body, mind, and soul without making it feel like a chore. Instead, they turn their routines into rituals that anchor them, creating rhythms that flow naturally with their lives. And that's what makes them glow with a sense of ease that others can't help but notice and admire, because nothing is more magnetic than someone who takes care of themselves with intention and grace and doesn't let life pull them away from what really matters. The secret is not about spending hours in front of a mirror or chasing the latest products. It's about the quiet, repeated actions that form the foundation of your well-being. Things like waking up with gratitude before your feet hit the floor, moving your body not just to look good, but to feel alive, fueling yourself with foods that don't just taste good, but also give you clarity and energy, and protecting your peace by knowing when to say no and when to step back. Because youthful energy comes from balance, and balance only comes when you start putting your needs on the same level as everything else that demands your time and attention. When you study women who look younger than their age, you notice patterns that go beyond genetics. You see how they protect their mindset, how they choose joy even in the midst of challenges, how they prioritize connection and surround themselves with people who uplift rather than drain them. And you realize their real secret is in how they control their environment and guard their energy like it's a priceless resource, because that's exactly what it is. And it's no surprise that their skin glows and their smiles are genuine, since the way you live your life always finds a way of showing itself on your face and in your presence. It's also about the power of consistency, because you cannot create an ageless glow overnight. It comes from showing up for yourself day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it, even when nobody else is watching, and even when the results are not immediate, because those small moments compound over time and become the habits that shape who you are and how you present yourself to the world. And what's inspiring is that once you make these habits part of your rhythm, they no longer feel like discipline. They simply become your way of living, and you realize that you don't have to work for youthfulness. You simply live it. One of the most underestimated ageless habits is protecting your inner calm, because stress is one of the fastest ways to age not just your body, but your spirit. And when you intentionally build habits that help you release tension, whether through meditation, breathing deeply, journaling, or simply taking a walk to clear your head, you not only look more youthful, but you also carry yourself with a confidence that people can sense instantly, because calmness is the kind of beauty that can't be faked. And when you walk into a room with peace in your heart, you radiate a presence that no cream or treatment could ever give you. Agelessness also comes from learning how to embrace change instead of resisting it. Because when you adapt, when you're curious instead of fearful, you keep your mind young and your spirit flexible. And that flexibility is what shows in the way you laugh, the way you move, the way you carry yourself without the weight of bitterness or resentment. And the truth is, nothing makes someone look older than holding on to things they should have let go of years ago. But when you let go, when you free yourself, you not only look younger, you feel lighter. And that freedom is the most youthful energy you can bring into your life. At the core, the habits that keep you looking young are not about fighting against time, but about partnering with it, working with your body instead of against it, choosing to age with intention instead of fear, and deciding that every single day you are going to nurture yourself in small ways that build into something remarkable. Because youthfulness is not something you lose as you get older. It's something you protect through your habits, your choices, and your mindset. And when you choose to live this way, you don't just look younger, you live younger in every sense of the word. The truth about staying youthful is that it isn't only about creams, makeup, or expensive treatments. It's about the small, consistent habits that shape the way we live each day. And one of the most powerful of those habits is the way women prioritize movement in their lives, because keeping the body active is not just about appearance, it's about energy, strength, confidence, and the glow that comes when blood is flowing and vitality is alive. And this kind of daily movement doesn't have to be about intense hours at the gym. It's often the simple choices, like choosing to walk instead of drive, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, dancing in the kitchen, stretching before bed, and creating routines that honor the body's natural need to move and breathe. Because youthfulness is really about circulation, posture, and the way the body feels from the inside out. And when women consistently keep activity as part of their daily rhythm, they maintain flexibility, muscle tone, and the kind of balance that makes them not just look younger, but feel younger in every step they take. Movement also plays a role in reducing stress and keeping hormones in check. And when stress is reduced, the skin clears up, the eyes brighten, and the whole face looks more alive. Because stress ages the body faster than anything else. And physical activity is nature's antidote, releasing endorphins and calming the mind, which makes a woman radiate confidence without even trying. And this is why so many women who seem ageless carry themselves with a lightness, because they have cultivated this connection between movement and mood, where every walk, stretch, or moment of exercise is not just keeping their body strong, but is also keeping their spirit lifted. And when the spirit is lifted, age feels irrelevant. Another reason daily activity keeps women looking youthful is that it builds resilience, not only physically, but mentally. Because when you discipline yourself to keep moving even when you don't feel like it, you're training your brain to push past resistance. And that habit of resilience shows up in the way you carry yourself, in the confidence of your stride, in the strength of your back, and in the way you naturally stand taller. And standing taller is one of the simplest signals of youth, because nothing makes a person look older than slouching, dragging their steps, or carrying the weight of life on their shoulders. But when movement is prioritized, posture corrects itself, energy levels rise, and youth is not just a look, but a presence. Even more than the physical benefits, regular activity gives women a sense of control over their own well-being, and that sense of control is powerful because it prevents the helplessness that sometimes creeps in with age. And instead of feeling like time is taking something away, women who commit to moving daily feel like they are actively building something. And that mindset of building, growing, and strengthening is exactly what makes youthfulness last beyond years. Because youth is about progress, not perfection. About choosing to invest in yourself today so tomorrow feels lighter, freer, and stronger. And that habit shows on the outside as much as it does on the inside. When you look at women who seem to have endless energy and a glow that makes you wonder what their secret is, most of the time, it comes down to their consistency with movement, because the body responds to what you give it regularly, not occasionally, and just like a plant that needs daily light and water, the body thrives on daily activity, and the results are not overnight, but over time they become undeniable. The skin stays tighter, the muscles stay toned, the joints stay lubricated, and the spirit stays light. And when all of those elements work together, age becomes just a number instead of a definition. It's important to recognize that movement doesn't have to be extreme to be effective. And in fact, the women who look the youngest are not the ones punishing themselves with overtraining, but the ones who make activity enjoyable, sustainable, and part of their lifestyle, because joy is what makes habits last. And when activity feels like play instead of punishment, it integrates seamlessly into daily life, creating a rhythm that doesn't feel forced. And when something doesn't feel forced, it becomes effortless. And effortlessness is exactly what radiates youth. So when we talk about ageless habits, prioritizing movement is at the top of the list. Not because it's about vanity, but because it's about vitality, because staying active is the key to keeping energy, health, and confidence alive. And when those things are alive, they reflect on the outside in the form of glowing skin, bright eyes, a strong body, and a presence that makes people wonder how it's possible to age so gracefully. One of the most overlooked habits that keeps women looking young is the ability to manage stress in a way that does not allow it to leave a lasting mark on the body or the mind. Stress, when left unchecked, accelerates the visible signs of aging more than many people realize, and it has a direct impact on the skin, on the body's posture, and even on the way energy radiates from a person's presence. Women who seem ageless have a way of protecting their peace, not by avoiding challenges altogether, but by choosing carefully how they respond to them. They cultivate an inner calm that reflects outward, and instead of carrying the weight of every worry in their expression, they learn to release it before it builds into something permanent. This deliberate choice to let go of what cannot be controlled creates a freedom in their appearance that no cream or treatment can replace. Another part of stress management that contributes to youthful appearance is the way these women set boundaries and know how to say no without guilt. People often assume youthfulness is tied only to how skin looks or how hair shines, but the truth is, a tired, drained, and overextended life shows on the face long before wrinkles naturally do. The women who preserve their vibrance understand that constantly pleasing others at the expense of their own energy takes away from their glow. They protect their time for rest, for joy, for things that fuel them, and this habit makes them look alive instead of exhausted. Boundaries create space for replenishment, and replenishment creates a vitality that simply cannot be faked. It is a quiet discipline that shows up every time someone looks at them and wonders how they manage to look so rested and light, even in busy seasons. Breathing and mindfulness play a significant role in this habit as well. A woman who practices mindful breathing or meditation often carries a softness in her face and a clarity in her eyes that is unmistakable. Stress tightens muscles, furrows brows, and creates tension in the jawline, all of which add years to appearance when practiced daily without awareness. But by taking even a few moments each day to breathe deeply, to reset, and to center, the body responds by loosening, the skin benefits from increased circulation, and the mind clears in a way that radiates youth. It is not a mystery why women who meditate or practice mindfulness often look younger than their peers, because the inner state of calm is reflected directly onto the outer self. This is a habit, not a one-time practice. And over the years, it builds a remarkable difference in how someone ages. It is also important to note how laughter and joy counteract the effects of stress and create a youthful aura. Women who look younger than their age are rarely women who live without hardship, but they choose to meet life with humor, with a willingness to laugh, and with a recognition that joy is not something to wait for, but something to cultivate daily. Laughter releases endorphins, lowers stress hormones, and literally shifts the body's chemistry in a way that softens lines and keeps the spirit light. A woman who laughs easily looks approachable, warm, and full of life, and that impression leaves her looking far younger than someone who carries the heaviness of stress in every gesture. The habit of finding joy, even in small things, is a powerful shield against the dullness that stress can bring. Connection also plays a crucial role in stress management. Women who maintain strong, positive relationships and surround themselves with people who uplift them experience lower levels of stress, and this directly reflects in their physical appearance. Isolation and toxic connections have a draining effect that shows up visibly over time, while supportive friendships and meaningful bonds generate energy that fuels the mind and body. When a woman invests in nurturing relationships and avoids those that consistently bring negativity, she is practicing one of the most effective, age-defying habits. Love, belonging, and healthy support systems reduce the burden of stress, and this makes her naturally look brighter, more alive, and more youthful. The company one keeps is not just a lifestyle choice, it is a beauty secret many overlook. The environment in which a woman places herself also influences how she manages stress. Women who look young often create calming spaces in their homes, workplaces, or routines that allow them to decompress instead of constantly feeling rushed or overwhelmed, whether it is through morning rituals, a walk in nature, reading, or simply carving out quiet time. They create habits that prevent stress from becoming the dominant tone of their lives. Their environments are intentionally shaped to support peace and relaxation, and this ongoing practice becomes visible in the way they carry themselves. Calm surroundings feed calm energy, and calm energy is often mistaken for youth because of its lightness and ease. The way a woman designs her space becomes a reflection of how she designs her life, and her life design becomes visible in her face, her posture, and her presence. Ultimately, the habit of managing stress is about discipline and choice, not luck. Women who appear timeless are not immune to the pressures of life, but they practice resilience in a way that allows them to bend without breaking, to release without holding on, and to restore without delay. Their ageless quality is not just in their skincare or their health routines, but in the way they master their inner world and prevent stress from leaving permanent marks. This habit does not create overnight changes, but over years it becomes a powerful force that makes them look decades younger than they are. The real secret lies in this consistency, in the quiet practice of choosing peace over chaos, and in protecting energy as though it were as important as health itself. There is a powerful connection between social engagement and maintaining a youthful presence that often gets overlooked, yet it plays one of the most vital roles in how women carry themselves through the years. Staying socially active, surrounding oneself with supportive friends, engaging in meaningful conversations, and building connections that bring joy create an invisible glow that no cream or serum can ever match. When a woman chooses to invest her time and energy in nurturing relationships, laughter becomes her natural therapy, shared experiences become her source of strength, and the feeling of belonging keeps her spirit light and lively. It is no secret that isolation accelerates the feeling of aging, but staying engaged in a community, whether large or small, adds purpose to everyday living and radiates vitality from the inside out. This isn't just about having company around, it's about choosing relationships that add positivity, stimulate the mind, and help keep the heart young no matter how many birthdays have been celebrated. Social habits that keep women young are not just about casual interactions, but about creating moments of genuine connection that nourish the soul. It could be something as simple as having a regular coffee chat with a close friend, joining a book club, volunteering for a cause that stirs the heart, or attending events that align with personal passions. These are not trivial activities. They are life-giving practices that keep the mind alert, emotions balanced, and the heart open to joy. A woman who regularly surrounds herself with uplifting company and meaningful interaction rarely appears weighed down by time because her spirit refuses to carry unnecessary heaviness. There is energy that comes from being around people who share laughter, ideas, and encouragement. And that energy reflects outwardly in her posture, her expression, and even her physical health. These are choices that weave youthfulness into everyday living. Another key piece in this habit of staying socially alive is the willingness to embrace new friendships and experiences even later in life. Many women who appear timeless carry with them an openness to meet new people, try new activities, and welcome fresh perspectives. They don't allow age to be a barrier to curiosity or growth, and this openness keeps their spirit flexible and their outlook young. They avoid falling into the trap of thinking that their social circle is complete or that new beginnings are only for the young. Instead, they lean into the truth that every stage of life holds opportunities to meet people who can add value, joy, or wisdom. That flexibility of heart and mind keeps them refreshed and makes them glow with a vibrancy that is impossible to fake. There is also a physical benefit to maintaining a socially active life. Studies consistently show that strong relationships and regular social activity can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve overall health. But beyond the research, there is the simple reality that joy is contagious. And when women immerse themselves in environments filled with laughter, encouragement, and shared experiences, their bodies respond positively. Less stress shows up in fewer frown lines, more relaxation enhances posture, and joy itself shines through the eyes in a way no makeup can replicate. That is why women who invest in their social world often carry a vitality that seems to suspend the clock. The habit of surrounding oneself with meaningful connections also brings resilience. Life is never without its challenges, but a woman who has cultivated a network of trusted relationships carries support that helps her navigate hardships without being consumed by them. This resilience against stress, loneliness, or discouragement keeps her from carrying the heaviness that often ages a person prematurely. Instead of being worn down by life's burdens, she finds balance, perspective, and encouragement that keep her outlook hopeful. This habit of leaning into community and choosing relationships wisely is one of the reasons so many women carry youthful energy far beyond their younger years. Equally important is the role of joy in expression. Women who stay engaged socially smile more often, laugh freely, and express themselves with ease because they feel connected to others. Their youthful presence doesn't come from denying age, but from living fully in the company of others. The act of sharing experiences, whether joyous or difficult, lightens the load and lifts the spirit. That spirit, in turn, influences the way they look and the way they are perceived. People often describe them as radiant not because of flawless skin or perfect features, but because their energy is warm, approachable, and undeniably youthful. When it comes down to it, the habit of maintaining a strong social life is about choosing vibrancy over isolation, connection over withdrawal, and joy over emptiness. It is about recognizing that youthfulness is not measured only in years, but in the fullness of the spirit, the brightness of relationships, and the choice to stay present in a world that thrives on connection. Women who keep this habit alive carry an unshakable vibrancy that makes them look and feel younger, no matter the passage of time.